my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm back. Let me adjust my mic a little bit. Alright, so I have no idea how I sound. I have no idea how the stream is going to go. I will keep a close eye on everything. But I'm back. It seems to be working, at least for now. Yeah, this is a stress test. Welcome to the stress test. Welcome to the testing stream. To see if it'll work, if I can stream, actually. If I can do this, continue doing this. Or if I'll have to stop because of technical limitations. That would suck. So I am going to keep this going for a while. Just to see how the bitrate, how connection is over a longer period of time. Like, my computer should be fine. It's a pretty powerful one. I upgraded it last month. Like, literally last month I upgraded a whole bunch of components of it. So the computer itself should be fine. It's way more powerful than my old one. But it's the connection I'm worried about. It's the internet I'm worried about. Because in a land of fiber optics and super fast internet and citywide Wi-Fi coverage, our house is so old that not house, our apartment is so old that the entry point of the internet cable, where it goes from the apartment building distribution box into our specific apartment, is lost in the walls, quite literally. We don't know where it is. We don't know where the internet cable comes in. We only know one of the exits of the copper wire right now. That is connected to the modem, the router. And that's the one we're using, and this is the fastest connection possible on the copper wire. But because we don't know where the actual entry for the wire into the apartment is, somewhere in the walls, we cannot pull a fiber optic cable into the apartment without tearing up the entire wall. And that's a no-no. So I would have hoped for slightly faster internet, especially since upload speeds here are generally really good. If you get something like 100 down, you also get 100 up. That's amazing. That gives you so much headroom. And if you do something like 500, you could get 1,000 here, 1,000 megabits. You get 1,000 megabits down and 1,000 megabits up. That is crazily awesome. That would allow you to stream. I don't know if it would allow you to stream 1440 at 60 FPS, but it'll definitely allow you to stream 1080 at 60 FPS. Which is wild. No, I mean 1,000 would probably be enough for 1440. But as it stands right now, I have 20 megabits load. And that is enough to hold a stream. I just have to be careful what I do. I think back in Germany I had 50, which is more than twice this. And At the very least, I didn't have to turn down the quality of the stream. So my stream is still 720 at 30 FPS. At 720 pixels. So that hasn't changed. I didn't have to turn down the quality at the very least. I'm very grateful for that because streaming at 480 or something, that's everything would be so blurry and pixely. It'll be unwatchable. And I've been told that 720p is not bad because it allows people with slower connections to watch, and I don't know if I can have quality options. There was something like, I think you have to be a Twitch partner to unlock quality options, or you need a certain plugin on my end, like on the streamer's end, to enable quality options for screen resolution or stream resolution rather. And I don't have that. So 720p, I've been told, is good. So it means I don't need a high bit rate to upload, and you don't need a high bit rate to download. That's all good. It's just I will have to see how the scaling works because my monitors now are 1440. So I am looking at, but everything is just nice ratios. Everything is just very nice ratio. 720 is half the length of 1440, so quarter of the screen area. You know, everything just works out because of the downscaling. But yeah, in any case, I am back for now. I'm really just rambling a little bit to just keep the connection running. Right? It's like in those thriller movies where the bad guy calls and the entire, I don't know, FBI office, everyone scrambles and keeps quiet. And they're like, keep him talking, we have to triangulate us. Not even triangulate, I think it's like, we have to pinpoint his position, keep him talking. Oh yeah, 1 minute left to pinpoint. And then at 59 seconds, the dude hangs up. It's like, damn, we lost him. That kind of deal, I guess. So a lot of just keeping the connection running. Also, I want to take it slow. I just want to have the stream run like this before I start up any auxiliary things like games. Like today is not gonna be a gaming day either way. Right. I'm not planning on playing something specific or doing any big series thing. Hold on, Kaspersky just okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. Kaspersky was just popping up saying, "Yo, I've updated my licenses or something." So yeah, where was I? Yeah, so today is not a normal content day. It's not a normal stream day. It's not gaming or anything. It's just me testing. So if I do end up playing online games, it is merely to test the connection, nothing more. Right? See if it holds with me playing a game online, because that will also eat into the bandwidth. That said, today is also gonna be a day where I possibly talk about plans. And oh my goodness. I thought I thought today was Friday. Well, Friday where I am, probably still Thursday. And a lot of the people on the other side of the Atlantic, or the other side of the Pacific in my case, across the date line. Um, yes, on the other side of the date line, exactly. I'm quiet right now because I'm picturing the globe and its rotation in my head, and it's like, what is going on? We've already crossed the date line, that's why it's a new day here. But the US or like the Americas in general are still so far away on the other side that they still have the previous day. Oh my goodness. Why are time zones? So yeah. I am also going to talk about some ideas and plans I have for the stream for the channel. I'm not going to reveal everything. Some things I want to keep a surprise. Things I've been working on. In the hopes. in the hopes that I will be able to stream again. Because otherwise, all that will be more or less. Well, it's still stuff I create, but you know, I will never really get to see the light of day as intended, which would have been very, very sad. But as it looks, like I'm always keeping my eye on the bitrate. And it's always between 3,000, 3,500, so that looks very, very stable. All in the green. Yes. It looks like I will be able to stream as long as nothing crazy goes on. And I mean it's upload, right? Streaming is a lot of upload and like I still have mom in my household, my mom, but she is probably not going to upload things. I'm just messing with my mic settings while talking right now. I shouldn't be doing. I'm going to do a setup stream, a full setup stream. So yeah, first I oh sorry, I peeked. I just peeked. Okay. So yeah, first idea. This is not the game. I need to change the compressor. Noise gate. No, I don't have a compressor. Compressor. Unless I do. Wavelink, where are you? Do I have a compressor? What is this? Where do I check? Oh, here. Oh yeah, I do have a compressor. I have a compressor going on my mic directly, not on OBS. That's the pain of having so many audio. So many audio places to. Oh, don't tell me the compressor isn't loading. But that is okay. That is for the setup stream, the technical setup stream. So let me go grab a blank canvas on which I can write. Because I do like I grew up writing with my hand. And what is this? 2560 by 1440, please. There we go. And I am there we go. It's not as bright. I wonder. Can I do this and then draw in a bright color? All right. So, this is much better. There we go. Oh, hey. Vessel, hello. Nice to see you. How are you doing? I just messed up. Um I was trying to grab a canvas on Krita and I accidentally managed to get only canvas mode and now all my menus are gone, so I'm a bit quiet to try and troubleshoot. But yeah. You're doing good. That is great to hear. And I am so glad to be able to stream and see everyone again. I missed this. I definitely missed this. So yeah. So I'm really just testing my connection right now. That's all I'm doing. Oh hey, Jojo, hi. It's going well so far. It's holding steady. The connection is holding steady. And I'm not dropping any frames or anything like that. So I am optimistic that I will be able to stream. Like I said though, this will be a stress test. So I am going to do a bunch of things like open up online games just to see how how well they share the connection if I'm actually streaming and then playing a game and having everything running at once, if the connection will remain stable. The computer is fine, but I'm worried about the internet connection. Thank you. It should be enough. Like it's 20 megabits upload, which in a country of um fiber optics and fiber optic cables everywhere and 500 megabits personal internet connections, 20 is laughably small. But it's what I have. and it's the only thing I can have. This is the fastest connection possible for our particular apartment. Because the cable is lost in the walls, and no one wants to try and find it. No one says they're able to find it. I don't know what's going on. So, no fiber optic cables for me, only copper wire. And oh heck, I have a lot of things open. And I'm closing off things. And yeah, so I need to test. I need to test to see if my internet will hold. Yeah, thank you. I hope so too. I do, however, want to use this stream to discuss some ideas. Okay, let me check. Where I'm also so not used to using my OBS anymore. I haven't used it in so long. I've forgotten how I had set everything up. I've forgotten where everything is. So yeah, it's a learning process once again. I have to relearn a lot of how everything functions, of how I function, because I set this up, right? But it's just the routine is gone. I definitely noticed that the routine is gone. Okay. So let me switch to this. Okay. Right. Also, I just noticed that my screen is massive. I have to rearrange things on my OBS. Oof. Yeah, definitely. But it is something I need to do. Okay, so oh. So I didn't realize this would be a thing, but my screens are now so massive that if I put OBS onto my second screen, the chat is all the way off to the edge and I cannot see it anymore. Which is less than ideal, and it's purely a physical thing, right? It's just the screen is too wide, physically too wide, that if I put OBS on that screen, look at my main screen, the chat is no longer in my peripheral vision. It's just gone. Completely gone. So I am trying to. This might work. Okay. No, I need to rearrange things a bit. Ooh, ooh. Okay, perfect, perfect. I found a way to rearrange things because my second screen is to the right of my main screen, and my chat was on the right side of my OBS window. So if I move OBS onto my second screen, the chat is all the way on the right hand edge. Let me just draw this real quick. Right, so I have one screen. Can I draw? Yes, I have one screen here, and I have a second screen here. The proportions are off. They're much wider. They're 16 by 9. So, and this is my main screen. This is my second screen. So I look at this screen to do things like draw, play, etc. And on OBS, right, I have my OBS things here. I have my scenes. I have my sound control, and so on. And chat was all the way here, which means if I look at my main screen, plus there's my microphone in my way, right? Chat is just gone. Chat just disappears. I can no longer see it because the screen is too big. Right? My peripheral vision might just reach here or so, and that's it. And chat is just invisible. And that's less than ideal. Oh, I can no longer. Okay. So move everything. Eraser. Eraser is here. Also something I need to get used to in Vita. Can I not? Okay. Yes. I upgraded my. What just happened? Oh. Okay, this is thing with Krita. Because the eraser is a pen, if you select the eraser and you bucket tool, you paint bucket tool, it erases everything. That's okay. All right, blank canvas. Let's go. So yeah, I had to rearrange things on my OBS. That was not something I had to ever consider. But yeah, I upgraded my PC last month because I could not bring everything. For one, it would have been too bulky, and like transporting monitors and such is just dumb. Right? Either I pack them into the container and then they will take 2 months, 3 months to get here, at which point why bother? Or I put them into my suitcase, in which case when they get here they're all broken. Plus they have a different plug, they run on different electricity. Right? Germany is 220 volts and Taiwan is 110. So just why bother? So just get rid of them in Germany and buy new ones here. So I used that chance to, and the same with a lot of other components that were old and breaking. I still had a 1060 graphics card that I have now upgraded. So because I left it in Germany, I sold it to a friend, or I'm going to sell it to a friend. It is moving intercontinental moves are a lot of work, are so much work. I had to get rid of half of my things at least. And it took me 2 months to pack and sort everything. Like when I came here at the beginning of the year, right, like February and such, uh February to May, February to May, I was here in Taiwan on vacation. And then I decided I'm gonna move here. I like life here much more than in Germany. I'm gonna move here. And then my mom was like, Oh, okay. So when you go back, you can take like 2 weeks to pack everything and and then come back here very quickly, right? It's like, Mom, I'm dissolving my entire life. I've lived in Germany for 16 years. That is stuff of 16 years that has accumulated. I need to sort through it. I need to pack it. I need to find a moving company. Took me a while to find one. I need to get rid of things, sell them, throw them, and I can't just randomly throw them, right? Things like furniture, you have to get a an appointment for people to pick it up, right? Old furniture and all that stuff, and I had to cancel my health insurance. I had to cancel the apartment. I had to cancel electricity and mobile phone and blah blah blah, internet and all that stuff. It was a lot of work. And after the Packers left and took 36 boxes with them, 36 boxes of stuff. Uh, I then went through my apartment and still found like 1 or 2 boxes worth of things that I had just forgotten. So I threw away some things where I thought, would have liked to keep them, but I just had no way of transporting them. It's impossible. So yeah, moving intercontinental moves, if you do if you do that, take more than 2 months. It's a lot of work, especially if you haven't moved before. Like I'm lucky I've moved before. Right. I've moved to Germany. I didn't have that much stuff to bring back then, but I did move there and then I moved within Germany and so on. Yeah. The intercontinental moves or even just a big move in general, uh, where you have to completely dissolve your life in one country and completely set up a new life in another country. And I'm lucky that I know both countries, right? I'm a German citizen, so living in Germany is one thing, and I have family here in Taiwan. I didn't have to look for a house. I'm living with my mom right now. All that, right? So I had a lot of work already taken off that I didn't have to do. Uh, so learn from my experience, intercontinental moves, plan, like really, really plan and go through, and it will take you at least 2 months, maybe three. Right? Yes, definitely. That's why I moved. I see that my mic keeps speaking. I'm sorry about that. Um, that does make it a lot easier, definitely. Which is why I said, okay, 2 months is enough for me. And I'm sorry. Do let me know if the mic becomes uncomfortably loud or anything. I will do a tech setup stream and work on that. And mic settings and sound settings and such are part of what I want to go through. It's okay? All right. That's good. Okay, so plans. What do I have planned for this channel? Now that I'm back, I've had so much time to think about plans and ideas and things I want to do. Some of the things I've posted on Twitter, which by the way, I am planning on leaving now that I'm on Blue Sky. So only official announcements and such on Twitter. Right. Where was I? Plants. So size big. I not? There we go. How's this? Nothing. This is not drawing. Why is this? Oh? Oh, because I'm black on black. This is too thick. 5. There we go. Okay. Better. Right. So, uh plans, ideas for, let's go with channel. For my channel. Also, I need to see how I set up my mic. My mic is very far away from my mouth sometimes when I lean back. I need to change that as well. Physical setup. Hold on. Okay, I have moved my mic physically closer where I am. Hopefully, this will help things. Okay. Plans, ideas for channel. Also, I haven't used my tablet in a while, you can tell. This is pretty horrific. I need to improve on that. Okay. So, I plan to start streaming 3 times a week. Start off with streaming 3 times a week. So 3 streams a week. Um, 3 streams is okay, I guess. And uh thoughts. And also I need to look for a job here. I need to teach, etc. So that's going to affect my times when I can stream and how often I can stream. But for now, my plan is 3 streams a week. Tuesday, and this is US or this is like the America's time. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And Asia time, this would be Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. And this is evening. And this is morning. Right. So this is my plan. It is 11 a.m. here right now. So the idea is to stream in the mornings here, which would be the evenings in the Americas. For now, this is the plan, right? That does mean that it will be in the middle of the night in Europe, which is that. The alternative would be to stream in the evenings here, which would make it morning in the Americas and midday in Europe. But streaming in the evening is I will have to see if that is better for me or not. Right now I'm on a rhythm where I'm in the morning and I have a stream already in the morning anyway, or at least a game collab in the morning here anyway, so I'll have to see what works. So this is the current plan. It might change down the line. Evening here might be too early. That as well. Yes. Oh my goodness, Aqua, hello. The headpad did not go off. I am sorry. I think Trigger Fire broke. I Yeah, I think it broke. Um there is so much I need to set up. Refresh it on your OBS. That's yeah. Uh let me just refund that for you right there. Okay. But in general, yeah, there's so much I need to refresh on my OBS. Refresh and relog in. Oh god. Yeah, I did change my password and I changed my two-factor authentication mobile number, right, from my German number to my Taiwanese one and so on. So that broke all of the Twitch plugins and logins like 2 or 3 times. Uh yeah. I can't do that now because I'm in the middle of streaming. But yeah. Um or were we? But yes, evening here might be too early for USA. Well, it's too early for Pacific. Right now, between here and the East Coast, it's exactly 12 hours. So if I start at 10 p.m. here, it'll be 10 a.m. in the East Coast, which is okay. But it'll be 7 a.m. on Pacific. So that is eh, that is quite early. Unless I'm like the morning radio, right? While you eat your breakfast, I'm on just talking about, I don't know, something. East Coast is where the waters? What? Watchers. Oh, yeah, true. A lot of them are on the East Coast. But right now I do have this rhythm going where I go to bed relatively early and I wake up relatively early. So I want to keep that. I don't want to start stream like at 9 p.m. and then go all the way to 2 or 3 a.m. That would be uh that would not be great, and also my mom would probably go crazy if I slept till noon every day or something. Um Plus, if I do get a proper job at some point, hopefully at a university, then I will have to work at university hours, which is not in the middle of the night. So that's why my plan right now is to use this and stream in my mornings and which would be the evening in the Americas. Yeah, it's very unusual for me. I would go to bed at 4 or 5 a.m. and just sleep till noon or even later. But this is very strange. But what this also means, this is also important for something later on, for what I am planning on streaming. So I have days one, or let's not call it one. Days, I have A, B, and C. And I've already had some ideas. I've brainstormed a lot in these past 2, 3 months where I couldn't properly stream what I want to do. So I play a lot of long form games, right? Especially CRPGs and such. But I've been thinking for it's uh I'm going to start with calling them other games, which is strange because I haven't defined anything else yet. And then this day is random chill, and then this is the intense long form games, right? So any CRPGs, I'm gonna start streaming Baldur's Gate at some point relatively soon, possibly this year. Gonna possibly start this year, because I need to catch the wave, right? Of everyone slowly finishing up Baldur's Gate 3, and then I can step in and say, "Yo, by the way, did you know that because it's Baldur's Gate 3, there's also a Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. Crazy, isn't it? Numbers. Oh my goodness. And thank you for the hydrate redeem. Oh, shoot. There's an ant crawling around in my glass. Yeah, one reality about Taiwan, ants. Ants everywhere. Insert Buzz Lightyear meme. Like my drink is heavily diluted energy drink. There's a second ant. Get out, get out. Alright, so there's a tiny bit of sugar in there. And the ants are going crazy for it, so they crawl into my tall glass to reach the drink and then they drown. It is stupid. The ants don't get anything from it. I don't get anything from it. Like, why do they do this? But yeah, ants is a reality here in Taiwan. Ants and mosquitoes and geckos and all sorts of creepy crawlies and Okay. I need to actually let me just cover up the glass. Maybe that will help. Okay. Thank you. So yeah, this is why this category is other games. So any other, it can be slightly long form games, but it's not going to be those intense story driven CRPG games that I plan to play like 20 of. All of the old Black Isle stuff, some more modern stuff, puzzle games, etc. A lot of these are gonna fall into this. And this is the weekend, right? So I figure, why not? See, I've put a lot of thought into this. This is the weekend. This is where people might have time to just sit down and participate. I use that word instead of watch because I know a lot of people just have it in the background, which is fine. I do that as well. Of more long form games, e.g., Baldur's Gate. Which is going to come. Definitely. Then other games is anything else that catches my fancy. Short games that I've always wanted to try, right? Puzzle games or so, rhythm games, whatever I can find. And there's a lot of fun rhythm games that I want to try. Or non-story, right? Non-story games like Caesar 3 is another game I want to try. But that game doesn't have a strict story where you need to pay attention to the story the whole time. It's a city management game. So that is more chill. And then the random chill category will be just that. Just whatever else needs doing, whatever else I want to do, because this is hump day. More or less. Not quite, but close enough, right? So things like art, for example. My tech stream, my tech setup stream will be here. My game design stream, my language learning stream, etc., etc., etc. And something I've also planned on doing, and now that the summer is ending and it's not 35, 40 degrees outside with huge UV and everything, and like 90% humidity, now that I can actually go outside and walk around without dying right away, my walking streams, right, where I do mobile streaming and go around different parts of Taipei to show show, yeah, just show things like tourist sites, show interesting areas, and so on, because there's so much, right? Taipei is a huge city. There's 5 million people living here. Ayo, Peebs! How are you doing? Nice to have you here. Yes, the long-awaited walking streams. I've been talking about them for a while. Maybe not openly on stream or something, but I've been talking about them to people. Peeps probably among one of them, very likely among one of them. Among them, sorry. Incredibly fatigued, but hang in there. Well, I wish you good hanging, or all the best. Good strength to hang through. I cannot words. But yes, ganbare. Um, and so yeah, walking streams. So the walking streams generally will work better. Bleh, my tongue tied up. Also, there's another ant in my. I am sorry. The ants are ubiquitous. So yeah, walking streams will generally work better if I go there in the mornings than in the evenings or at night, because a lot of tourism sites and such will be closed at night. That's just how society has decided to work. Um, so going there at like 9 or 10 a.m. will allow me to actually go in there and walk around and show you everything in daylight than have everything be pitch black. And I'm just walking outside of a closed site somewhere. That's probably less than ideal. There are a handful of things that I will have to stream in the evening if I want to go there. Things like night markets. Right. There are some incredible night markets here. I'm not gonna go to every single one because if you've after you've seen one or two of the biggest ones, you kind of know what to expect. Um, but in general, like night markets, or there might be some things that are in the evening, something like a walk along the river. Right? You can do one in the morning, but you can also do one in the evening and just see the cityscape lit up, the skyline and such. So every now and then I might do a stream in my evening for specific sites, but in general, it's gonna be in the mornings for me. So yeah, the walking streams are a big reason why. Let me check. Oh, 0.0% drop frames. I am very happy about that. Okay. So yeah, and this will also just all be on this random chill day, right? So I will be at home for me every Wednesday and Sunday. And Fridays, I'm not gonna go out every week. I might do it every other week or so, depending on how many spots I can find, how much time research takes. Yes, I plan to research all the spots I go to. That's all coming through smooth. That is very good to hear. Yeah, again, this is a stress test. Did I not? I knew I forgot something. I forgot to change the title. It still says tech test, don't bother. Oh my goodness. See, I am so out of practice when it comes to streams. I was like, oh, let me start stream. What do I need? I need to set up my oh, can't even think of it. My VTube studio. I need to make sure my mic isn't blasting everything. I need to connect to the internet, blah. And then it's like stream title and category. Right. Yes, that is a thing. Um I forgot. It is a tech test, but you don't really have to not bother. You don't also have to bother. I don't know. Whatever. It's okay. Uh, so yeah, the next stream, I am planning on starting to do this regularly now that this stream is panning out. Okay, so the next stream will be on my Friday, right? Which is coincidentally a random chill day, and that's where I'm gonna do the tech setup. So next couple of streams is going to be tech setup on Friday, which is the 15th. Holy heck, 15th. September is halfway over. Why? Why is that a thing? Right? Tech setup. And then I already have something every Sunday, at least partially. So we have a V Rising collab that has been going on almost every week. We skipped a couple weeks here and there because people were busy. But that is every Sunday morning for me, every Saturday evening for the Americas. And that will still be going on. I've been playing as far as I could. Playing was okay with my weak connection. Streaming while playing would have killed me. So that is still happening. And it's very likely we're going to play this week. And I will be back to streaming that again. Right? And then I will have to see for next Wednesday. Oh, that's not 17. That's 18 on Wednesday. Yes. No, what am I doing, Auntie? I cannot math anymore. What game I start? I don't know yet. Some game. I am not going to continue streaming Fallout 3. I've decided that I am going to put that on ice. I might just cancel it altogether, but I'm gonna put that on ice. I feel very, very icky supporting anything Bethesda right now. And I have found that I am not really enjoying Fallout 3. Like the game is so old, so buggy, so broken that at this point it's eating into my fun. You can only laugh about bugs so often before it starts impacting the fun of playing the game. So I'm not going to continue Fallout 3. I am, however, going to do Fallout 1 and 2 at some point. That is planned. That is all for this intense long form game thing. That is definitely a thing. And I don't know if I will do 2 games on Sunday. If I will do the V Rising collab plus some other game, right? Um, the the collab is scheduled to last only 3 hours because that's how much time everyone has, right? We have to organize 9 people to play together, which is quite a feat. Which is quite a feat to get 9 people together every week. I wish tabletop role playing game campaigns could do that with half as many people. Like getting 5 people, 4 or 5 people to show up every week, like consistently, is a dream. But then I could also do tabletop RPG things. And so because it's only 3 hours, I might append a bit of another CRPG, but after that, I will have to see. I might not do it this week. I will have to see how much time I have in the day. More ants, sorry. And how much energy I have, and what game would be good to fit into a second half of a stream. Um, because like 3 hours is short for me, typically how much I stream, but 3 hours is still 3 hours. And a lot of people only stream 3 or 4 hours in general, and that's perfectly fine. That is a full stream. It's just that I usually stream 8 hours. So I will have to see if I can keep that up here, if I want to keep that up here, and if it's worth doing like 1 or 2 hours or maybe 3 hours of some other game after the V-Rising collab. There are reasons for both. Right. Yes, because I want to start getting through these games. I want to showcase them. These are games from my childhood, and they have shaped my childhood and are still shaping me. And they are amazing, and a lot of people don't know about them. But they're like, oh, Fallout 4, oh, Baldur's Gate 3 is like biggest selling game of like second half 2023 or something. Um, but what is Baldur's Gate 1 and 2? You know? It's like these 20-year-old games, 23-year-old games, 25-year-old games. No one knows about them. No one has experienced them. And they are amazing. Right? There's a reason Larian Studios decided to pick up the Baldur's Gate name again and make a part 3 23 years after Baldur's Gate 2. Well, it released 23 years after Baldur's Gate 2. They started development much earlier, but you know what I mean, right? 2 decades later, they decided, you know what, Baldur's Gate was such an amazing series, it needs a third part. And I want to show people why these are amazing series and why something like Baldur's Gate or Fallout is still so huge. What started it? So I do want to get through these games. Oh, oof. I hope the captions at least got that right. I didn't check the captions. Larian. Larian Studios. Right? Larian Studios. Yes, D&D itself. I think Chris Perkins is the big guy. I don't want to randomly name people and misaim anything. I'm not gonna name people. But yeah, D&D definitely has some very questionable top writing decision makers in there. That is just one more brick, or not brick, but like one more step along Wizards themselves murdering the D&D brand, which I'm all for. D&D by now is 50 years old. 50 years old, more or less. It started in the mid to late 70s. Forgot when exactly the first one came out. But people have been playing and testing it before that already. So yeah, mid to late 70s is when D&D first came out. That is 50 years ago, almost. So it has a lot of baggage. It has a lot of Gary Gygax still in it. And Gary Gygax... 1974. Yeah, okay. D&D 1974. So even a bit earlier. So yeah, next year will be the 50-year anniversary of D&D. Holy heck. That is crazy to think about, man. Half a century. of Christian inspired bioessentialist colonialist simulator. Um, I will just rant about D&D again. Let's not go down that lane. That is for some time else. That is when I do my game design stream or something. Then I can rant to my heart's content. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so I want to showcase these games, so I do want to start earlier rather than later. The V Rising collab is going to end at some point because we are going to finish V Rising. It has a definite end, right? It has a final boss. And once you beat the final boss, you're at the end of the content. There's no more progression. There's no more story is relative, but there's no more going forward. There's only things like building pretty castles and murdering people and being a vampire, right? But once that is reached, it's over, right? There's no more game to progress. So that's also when I assume the collab isn't going to end. The weekly collab, which is what happened last time, right? We played through the base game a year ago, and when we beat the final boss, that was it. We stopped. And this time, with the new content, it's going to be a bit more. It's going to be a bit more awesome. So the V Rising collab is going to end in the foreseeable future. Within, if I look at how long it took us to do the other things, how to get to this place, maybe 2-3 months. So it's going to end in this year. My prediction. Unless we miss out a whole bunch of dates because of things like Thanksgiving or Halloween or whatever. People can't make it. Um, but other than that, yeah, I predict it to end this year. But that's still 3 months or so of no other games. 3 months where I could be streaming other CRPGs. So I really want to. So it's very likely. Again, I'm not going to do this on uh, this week's E Rising stream. Very likely, because I need to see if I'm even able to, timing wise and energy wise, etc. If I've had bad sleep, that's really going to eat into my energy. Uh, but yeah, that's the plan. So in general, Saturdays or Sundays, see. So I should put this here. So let me move this. Uh, plus V Rising lab. Right. Until it's done. And then I will devote the entire Sunday stream to playing these long form games, the CRPGs. Um yes. So in 2 days, so I'm going to look through this stream, the recording, the VOD of the stream afterwards to see if there's anything that immediately jumps out that I can change on my end. But the next stream on Friday, my time, Thursday in the Americas, is going to be the tech setup where I go through a lot of things. I want to set up or do OBS again. I want to clean up my OBS, do things like resort all the scenes, um, manage the sources that I have, right? Get rid of anything I'm not actively using. Uh, mic setup, set up some things like transitions, um, So like streamer bot is a big thing that I've been watching a lot of videos about, and that's a really, really powerful tool. And no one told me about it. Sorry, I just bumped my mic. And it can do so much. So I really want to look into that streamer bot setup. And depending on how far we get, I might do that the week after as well, by continuing the tech setup. I will have to see. Then the V Rising collab on Sunday, and then the week after that on Wednesday, some game. I haven't decided yet. It might just be most likely a puzzle game. Right. I will have to see what puzzle games I own. Um Puzzle game or something similar. Panel de Pon, is that a puzzle game? Let me check that. I have never heard of that. Uh Tetris Attack. Is is that just Tetris Attack? It's just a different name for Tetris Attack? Because that's what I'm not using Google, but that's what generic search engine is giving me. Or is it similar to Tetris Attack and Tetris Attack just kind of Oh, yeah, no, it's similar. I don't own that game either. Hey, yo, Ren, hello. Oh, you're muted. Watching without audio. So there. Um Fairies wouldn't sell, so they made it Nintendo characters. Ah. Yeah, that's very on brand. Definitely. Uh First, yeah. Okay. So basically the same game. I forgot that different regional releases for games back then were basically different games a lot of the time. That would change so much about them that you couldn't say it was the same game anymore. It's crazy. Like the 80s and 90s were a crazy time for games. Or even the 70s. Well, I don't know, it's too early. The 80s, or 80s and early 90s were a crazy time. Yeah, I will have to see what I own. If there's a puzzle game that I can just go through. Like all of these streams though, all of them for the next week or two are going to be stress tests to some degree or other. Especially the V Rising collab, because that is going to be an online game with 8 other people in a voice call, Discord voice call, and streaming and everything. So this is going to be the real deal. Right? This is going to be the one that decides if I can stream, if I can continue doing this, right? The make or break. And if this works out, the rest is probably going to be smooth sailing. My computer, like I said, my computer is going to handle basically every game I throw at it. I don't play those super new, high intensity graphics games and such that require all of the CPU and GPU resources. I don't really play games like that, and I definitely don't stream games like that. I play 20-year-old games, right? Uh I could probably run them on an integrated graphics card. um, so that's not going to be the problem. I'm not worrying about the computer at all. And I upgraded it last month with pretty new things. I discovered that CPU coolers are about as big as a toaster, which completely surprised me. I had no idea. Uh, Now I can understand why so many cases are so gigantic because they just need to fit all of the coolers. And also the graphics card cooler is is massive. Like the graphics card I have in there now is probably half as long again as my old one. It's crazy. It takes up so much space and double the width. It takes up so much space. I don't. I can't. But I upgraded things. So the computer should be fine. It's the internet connection. So this is keep your eyes on this game, this stream will decide if I graduate or not. I am only half joking. If I cannot stream using this connection, I am not going to be able to get a better connection in the foreseeable future. Foreseeable future being the next few years. Um, and that will mean that I am unable to stream if this doesn't work out. And if it doesn't work out and I'm unable to properly stream on this connection, then I simply cannot do it. Right? And that's it. I'll have to throw the towel after about 2 years, which is going to be really really sad, but I can't change it. I might come back in like 5 years and be like, "Okay, I've moved into a place with fiber optics. I can now properly stream." Well, that's 5 years from now. I'll be 40 by then. I will properly be an internet boomer. So yeah, this is the big stream on Sunday. And if it works out, I'll continue. Right, in this pattern. Uh I will summarize this neatly and put this up as a proper schedule and everything on thank you. On Twitter and Blue Sky. I should disable it's don't do that, thank you, but don't redeem the headpat redeems right now because it's broken. It's broken. Okay, hold on. Let me refund that. But yeah, thank you. But I should disable the redeem. Oh, I know where. It's just it's just a lot of clicks and a lot of clicking through things. Viewer rewards, channel points, manage rewards, pat disable. There we go. Okay. I should actually disable a lot of the other ones right now because they're probably going to interfere with what I'm doing at the moment. Okay. Uh so yeah, I'm going to summarize this neatly, post this on Twitter and Blue Sky and possibly Tumblr. I'm on so many platforms right now. So yeah, other peripheral changes. I'm going to let Twitter die eventually. Um Muskie is completely destroying it because he doesn't like getting publicly owned. Uh, shows that he's an actual capitalist, I guess. That was an economics joke. And so yeah, so Twitter, I still have it. I am only going to do two things on it. I'm going to do announcements and schedules and and collab things and all that. All the official the professional. I'm a professional streamer kind of messages and whatever the heck else I like because I don't care about it anymore. I'm just gonna slash and burn it, basically. Like if my Twitter account dies at some point, eh, Twitter's gonna die. Whatever else I want, right? So I don't care about what I like, what I retweet. I almost said repost. Oh my goodness, Muskie is influencing my brain. Whatever I retweet, whatever I like, whatever I post, whatever I don't really care anymore on there. So if you want to see some unfiltered action, I guess this is the chance. Um, I do now have. Heyo, hi Ren. How is it going? Nice to have you here. Nice that you can now properly hear us. How have you been? Um, Other platforms, Blue Sky. Also, Muskie really hates Irving Berlin. That, by the way, is the dude who sang the whole blue skies smiling at me. Nothing but blue skies do I see. Right, that one. If you type blue sky in Twitter, your post gets completely squashed by the algorithm. So post those lyrics, everyone, and make sure everyone knows that Muskie hates Irving Berlin. Doing well? That is good to hear. Doing well is always great. So yeah, Blue Sky is basically the new actual platform where I do also announcements, but also actual social stuff. Right? Talking to people, uh reposting, reskeeting? Is that what people call it on Blue Sky? I guess. Uh Things and hanging out, etc. So this is my main social media platform. Once I've properly set up, once I've followed more people on there, found more people, once more people have moved over, hopefully at some point. Right? I know it's very difficult to get onto Blue Sky because you need the invite codes. I only recently got one like 2 days ago or 3 days ago from Aqua, so very very thankful for that. Um, I've been sitting on a waiting list for like a month, and yeah, so I understand that not everyone is on there, not everyone is on there yet, but this is the one I'm gonna use going forward. There is gonna be a transition time, where I slowly transition, and I do understand that it'll take time for Blue Sky to take off and to get more people and so on. I also have a Tumblr, but my Tumblr is more for long form posts. Not quite announcements and social things, so long form posts. Right now I've been posting a lot of game design stuff on there. Right? My thoughts on game design, some writing has been happening on there. So this is more of a creative outlet. Right? Tumblr is more of where I put out various thoughts and ideas and discussion prompts, I guess, though no one discusses. Understandable. I'm a nobody on there. But yeah, on different areas of interest, hobbies, etc. Right, so more of a creative outlet. Uh, if you like that type of thing, if you like thoughts on game design, that's mostly what I post on there. You can look at that. But if you really only want the main social, it's gonna be Blue Sky, Twitter while it lasts. Right? So this is while it lasts. Um yes, so I will paste a summary of all of this on both Twitter and Blue Sky. That's why I mentioned this. And with some explanations, possibly I'll have to see. But yeah, that's the plan for now. How are we looking? We're looking good, actually, on the connection. That is always great. So I am actively resisting the urge to do a lot of tech setup now because I do believe that having a proper stream for tech setup is good for me because then I can prepare things like a to-do list. I can set up and download and install all of the programs that I want to use beforehand. Things like StreamerBot, things like various plugins, the Move transition plugin, etc. I can actually put all that on my computer already, and then when I do the stream, I have them there, right? And it's gonna be a learning experience for me and for people watching, maybe, right? Especially StreamerBot. StreamerBot is so powerful. I've watched so many videos on it, and I will have to learn how to set it up. I've looked at the program a little bit, but I haven't actually set up anything proper yet because, and this is another thing, this is also going to be brainstorming, right? The tech setup is also going to be a lot of brainstorming and idea gathering of what I can change. I have some ideas already, but maybe other people will have things I didn't think of that would work, that might fit, or that just look cool. And so that's what that's for, right? A big collaborative session of, oh, how is it possible to set up things like StreamerBot, to set up things like redeems? What kind of redeems are good? How would they work? How can I improve on a technical side, improve things like the headpat redeem? Because right now, the headpat redeem is two separate things. It's a Triggerfire plugin, and it's my model. And if I want to move my model, I also need to move the Triggerfire redeem so that the headpad still aligns with my model, and it's a lot of pain, and there must be a better solution. So that's things like that, right? All these technical things where during the stream running, if I do have to change my model position during the stream, I don't also have to follow up and change two different, three, four, five different things just to keep the rest of the stream running while I'm live streaming. That is a lot of pain. So anything I can offload onto bots, anything I can offload onto my setup, that's what this is for. Right? To automate as much and to consolidate as much and optimize as much as possible to make actually running the stream simpler. Um and less of a strain so that I don't forget things like changing the goddamn title the stream every single time I start. You know what? Let me put the edit stream info on its own thing. This is absolutely horrible. There we go. Okay, I now have edit stream info on its own panel visible. It was always hidden. That may have been why I keep forgetting it. It's now on its own panel. So hopefully that will help me remember to do this. Okay. See, just very simple. Just OBS layout as well, right? That's also a big thing. Microphone filters, microphone effect. I don't know. There's so much that I can set up with all of these tools that now exist. Man, you kids nowadays, you have it so good. Everything is done for you. Back in my day, I had to save my homework on a floppy disk. I don't know where that came from. I actually did have to save my homework on a floppy disk. But yeah. And the floppy disk had so little capacity that I had to bring like 5 of them and label them properly to make sure which one was which. And Diablo 2 came on 3 CDs. 3! And it sometimes asks you to change CDs in the middle of playing the game. Watch a cinematic. Yeah, those were the days indeed. Like you would finish an act, kill a boss in Diablo 2, and it's like, please insert the cinematic CD to watch the cinematic, or skip it. And you're faced with a choice. It's like, is the cinematic important enough for me to take out the CD, put in the cinematic one, play the cinematic, and then take out the cinematic CD and put the gaming CD back in? Is that really worth it? Oftentimes it wasn't. We just skipped because we wanted to play the game. So yeah. Uh, yeah, so tech setup, big thing on Friday. I'm actually pretty excited. And then depending on how well the tech setup goes, game design streams, art streams. I do have a big art project I'm working on, but I don't want to reveal too much of it. Right? This is the dilemma. Do I stream the art on or do I stream the art on stream? Do I do the art on stream? Do I draw it on stream? Right? To have a fun stream? To have quote unquote content? Or do I keep it a secret? And right now, the keeping it a secret is winning because I am quite excited for a big reveal.
Raiding party!
You
Oh
must
my
gather
goodness,
your party
Gore!
before venturing forth.
Thank you for the raid. I am unable to hear my own alerts. I saw it go off, but I'm unable to hear my own alerts. Okay, that is another thing I have to watch out for. See OBS setup. No alert sound. Oh, no alert sound in general? Uh-oh. Okay. That is another thing. Let me see if I can. I have the alert sound. Press test. Yes, I do have the alert sound here. There is a volume bar, but like hold on, let me give you a shout out first. Let me give you a shout out. What was my shout out command? Oh. Thank you, Joe. I didn't see you there. All right, yes, I'm sorry. I am very sorry. I didn't know you were there as well. Well, you got to it first. Okay, you got to it first. You did it. Good job. Hi. And yes, thank you for the raid. Okay, what were you doing? Destiny 2. Ooh. Were you doing some good raids or was there some new content that came out? Didn't know I was here. Well. But yeah, how are you all doing? Oh, okay. I think part of the reason why there was no sound is because I had to reauthorize stream elements. Um, that may have been part of the reason. Unlock. Okay, let me test.
Updated my journal.
Did it play a sound on stream? I didn't hear anything on OBS. Audio heard? Okay. Very good. But I cannot hear it on my end. So alerts. SE alerts. Advanced audio properties. So I need to monitor the SE alerts. It does say monitor and output. You heard updated. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that was that was supposed to play. But uh like I have the stream element alerts sound option here, and it's set to monitoring it.
Stay a while and listen.
Question cheers, question cheers, question cheers, question cheers, question cheers, question
Oh
cheers,
god. Oh
question
god.
cheers,
Joe.
question cheers, question cheers, question cheers, question cheers.
Okay, fair enough. I set them up though. That's my fault. It's okay. But thank you for the sub. 17 months. Oh my goodness. That is crazy. What the heck? And thank you, Joe. Thank you so much. Seriously. But yeah, I'm not gonna bother too much with it now. I've reauthorized my Twitch connection to Stream Elements, so that seems to have fixed it partially. And well, it yeah, I miss you too. It was kind of a forced vacation, kind of because of technical issues. And of a lot of stress of packing and moving and dissolving my old life of 16 years. But yeah, it is great to be back. And as you can see here, I've had a lot of thoughts and a lot of ideas. True, I guess. I guess this gave me a lot of time to think and reorganize what I want to do with the stream. You know what? You are right. I've put a lot of ideas into this, and I've been working on some other stream related things. And just in general, like I needed to move here. Like I understand that it came with a lot of technical limitations, but I had to move here. Life here is so much better. It's all going to be on the test. Uh-oh. Yes, yes it is. Didn't study? Well, that's on you, Joe. That's on you. So, yeah, many ideas. And what was I saying? Gonna flip the desk. Well, that's an immediate upside down D. Actually, can we not talk about tests? I haven't been in school for 10 years. I don't need this. I graduated grad school 10 years ago. Almost 10. No, 10 years ago. Uh I don't need the night terrors of dreaming about having forgotten about a test or so. I don't need that. That's for other people. That's for my students now. I'm the one handing out the tests now. So Maybe this will help. Ah, yes. Thank you. Hydrate and stretch. Okay, let me check for ants real quick. I don't see any ants in my drink. All right. All right, make. Ay. Ah, okay. Wait, what happened to that emote? What the? Oh, did you modify the emote? Is that what happened? Is that possible? You did the. I didn't know that was possible. What? Okay. I was like, what's wrong with your mode? Why is it broken? What? I love how the shades are going in the wrong direction. It's amazing. Be there for 24 hours? For you or for everyone? For you, okay. Like mine is still standard without the shades. Okay, so that's what that does. I keep seeing it in other people's streams. And I'm like, what does this do? But okay. I learned something new today. All right. Uh, where was I? Alerts. Yes. I'm not really going to bother with it now because either I will fix this in 2 days at the tech setup, or I have seen that StreamerBot is apparently also able to set up alerts. I don't know if it hooks into things like Stream Elements alerts or if it's its own thing, like that StreamerBot crafts these alerts. I don't know. If it's the latter, then I don't need to bother with the Stream Elements alerts anymore, right? I can just do the StreamerBot thing and have everything plugged into one place, which would, again, be a lot easier than having to worry about 5 different plugins. I only have to worry about 2 or so. I want to point out that I only have 42.3k points. You've been spending a lot. Oh yeah, part of the stream setup, or the stream setup stream. That is such a silly name. I'm gonna use it. Part of that stream is to see what kind of redeems I can use, or what kind of redeems I can put in, right? Some standard redeems, or some redeems. Again, StreamerBot is able to put in redeems where things then happen on screen on the stream. So I might gather some ideas for those and implement some of those as well. So it's a whole big change coming up, right? So the tech setup is gonna be uh OBS, right? Resort everything on OBS. Things like sound settings, including mic filters. Oh my god, I have hiccup. This is horrible. All right. Sound settings, mic settings, filters, different volume balances, volume mix, etc. For games and songs. Plugins, various plugins. I want to play around with the Move Transition plugin. I want to play around with StreamerBot. I want to see if there's anything else I can put into the stream. Those are the two big ones I found, but there's a lot of good ones. Working on something on your side? Okay, have fun working on your side. Uh, anything else, right? Resetting up the alerts and so on. and maybe plan out some things for the future. Like I want to make an overlay. I have discovered now, like overlays are a contentious issue because I think most of the time they're very misused. A lot of the time, people like streamers use overlays to cover like 50% of their screen or 2/3 of their screen, and then the actual game is in a tiny corner, and their own model takes up half the screen, or their cam takes up half the screen or something, and then chat is over the game anyway, and then you have blinking things and lots of bars and blah and movement, and it's a mess, right? That's like graphic design is my passion. Student just learned about the 25,000 tools that they can use to graphic design their passion, and then they use everything, right? All the colors and all the shapes and all the animations, and it was like programming, or not programming, but like coding with HTML all the way back in like 2000, where you had marquee and blinking and color text and bold and underlined and everything, and then your website had to have everything. Like websites in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s were wild. Some of them had music playing on their own just because they could, right? So it feels like that. And then on the other side, you have people with zero overlay, understandable as a reaction to how people misuse overlays, but then they still put their model to cover like a quarter of their screen, and then you can't see the game, and then chat is on another quarter of the screen, and then you can't see the game again, and you still can't see the screen because it's being covered up. So on the one side you have games that are tiny because the overlay covers everything, and on the other side you have games that are covered by all sorts of stuff, not least by the model, right? And both are uh not optimal. So I want to go some sort of middle ground. I do want an overlay where I can park my model, where I can park chat, where I can park the captions, and so on. No blinking, moving stuff. No loads of bars and effects and blah. None of that, right? But just get all of these other elements out of the way so that the game isn't covered. Like right now, my model is covering part of the text. Good job, me. Where is it? It's on the right. Oh, there. Okay. See? And then I will have to keep readjusting my model position because sometimes there is a UI element in the bottom right of a game window that I'm covering up. Then I have to move my model to the left. Sometimes there's a UI model on the left. Sometimes there's one on the left and the right. Then I have to move my model a bit more to the center. It's a mess. It's a big mess. I do not want to deal with that. And the solution I'm not coming up with, but I've decided on and that I want to implement is an overlay. So I am going to create a simple overlay at some point as part of my big art project and have the game displayed in its full splendor and park all of the other stream UI elements off to the sides. Like I could even have alerts appear off to the side on top of the overlay and such, right? I can decide that, but that's also planning other things, right? Like how will the overlay be proportioned, etc. What elements do I need to place into the overlay, and so on and so forth. And you can have fun with overlays, right? They can match your brand, they can match your theme, so that's always good. Yeah, so this will all be the text setup stream on Sunday. Oh my god, on Friday. I keep thinking it's Friday today. I don't know why. My brain is just I woke up today and it rewired itself, and for me, today is Friday. I'm not sure why. Today is Wednesday. I still have another lesson tomorrow to teach. I'm not off free yet. It's not the weekend. It is Wednesday. I don't know, man. My brain sometimes. Um, yeah. And that's basically it. I will have to see. I've done some mobile streaming tests. Some people have caught me during those, and then I was just like, yeah, no, have a close up view of my pillow. I'm just testing the mobile app. Um, but I'll have to see if I can find a good lav mic, for example. If I need something like a GoPro to have a good camera that won't move around as much, and where I don't have to carry my phone and hold it out in front of me the whole time. That's really awkward. So having like a GoPro on my shoulder or something is gonna be a lot more comfortable and a lot less obtrusive. Like if I walk through the streets holding my phone out in front of me, everyone's gonna stare and be like, "What the heck?" But if I have a GoPro on my camera, GoPro on my shoulder, people are still probably gonna stare, but it's not gonna be as intrusive. Um, so that's that's part of the planning for those as well, and then list out destinations I want to go to in the city, do my research on them, and so on and so forth. But the walking streams are gonna happen. I have to use the cooler weather. Right? It's basically impossible for me to do walking streams in the summer unless it's somewhere indoors away from the sun, preferably ventilated or even air conditioned. A stand to place a phone or GoPro can help. Yes. Just for still shots or so. Yes. That can also help. Definitely. Good point. Um so yeah, those are a couple of considerations I'm having. But now autumn is starting. The weather is getting noticeably cooler and less humid and more windy and just in general a lot more bearable to be outside for more than 2 minutes. And yeah, so walking streams I need to grab the weather. Carpe the tempus. Car is it tempus or carpe tempem? Tempum. Carpe tempum probably. Carpe tempum. I grab the weather. Seize the weather. Um and and use the colder half of the year. And use the time when there are no typhoons. Because we do get typhoons every now and then, and when that happens, I am not going out. Because all of the rain and all of the wind. Um so I need to do that when I can. Yeah, that's another big plan. That this is definitely coming up. I already have a couple of destinations I want to go to, and I keep discovering new ones. Like there's so many hidden gems in this city. It's crazy. Right? I mean, this city is massive. There's 5 million people living here. It has city-wide good Wi-Fi coverage that I can use. Uh, so yeah, I need to use this. Plus, I don't think a lot of people know a lot about Taiwan and Taipei in particular. So this is a good word, a good opportunity to show off my hometown. I mean, I grew up here, so it really is my hometown. Yeah. So that is also coming. But first, a couple of tech things, one or two tech streams where I set up everything for the stream. I also have a game design stream that I can plop in. Um, as necessary to fill a gap. And then walking streams might be every 2 or 3 weeks. I'll have to see. So every second or third week. So 2 streams here at home, and then a third stream outside, or 1 stream here, 1 stream outside. Right. On the random chill days. So this is definitely part of the random chill day streams. Yeah, is there anything else? Anything else that needs mentioning right now for my plans or ideas? Hmm. I guess the only thing worth mentioning now is these might change, especially the schedule. The big schedule might change because I am looking for a job. And depending on what job I get and what working hours I have, and what days I'm going to work, I will have to shift things around most likely. So this is the plan for now. Until further notice, until job induced changes. I mean, I figure it also really depends. Like if I manage to get a job at an adult language school, for instance, the lessons are most likely going to be in the evening, because in the morning or during the day, people are going to school or going to work, and then the evening they want to take language lessons. So if I get a job at one of those places, work is most likely going to be in the evenings, which means I can stream in the morning. If I get a job at something like University Language Center, that's gonna be during normal lesson times, which is during the day, and then that really depends on what days I work, etc., etc. So that's I will have to see. I may have to cut down to 2 streams a week, which is unfortunate. If that happens, I may have to shift days around. I don't know. I'll have to see. But yeah, pending. So this whole thing, pending job induced changes. Right? But other than that, I don't think there's anything more really talking about the plans. All right, let me save this image so that I don't lose it. Okay. And yeah. Let me work on some more art right now while I'm here. And then I don't know, we can just chat and I can keep an eye on the connection. Like it's been running for 2 hours. I would like it to run at least another hour just to see. Like it's probably going to be fine. I've dropped or skipped just like 20 frames or so, which is just minor hiccups. So far it looks good. But this is a stress test in a way, and then Sunday again is going to be a big stress test. Also, I need to find out what the time zone I'm in is officially called. Uh, it's the China Standard Time. Okay. CST. But that's Central Stand. Oh my god. Hold on a second. Sorry, my mom just came in. So to avoid confusion, let me see. What kind of time zones? So this is what time zones I want to have on my schedule and announcements, etc., etc. And so obviously I want something that everyone uses, something like PST, I guess, or EDT is easier for me to calculate because it's just 12 hours, at least for now until daylight saving ends, and then why are time zones? And then I could use something like JST, Japan Standard Time, which is just an hour ahead. So that's easy for me. And JST is a much more prominent or easier to parse time zone signifier than CST because China Standard Time, CST, so many time zones have C something in there. Like CET is Central European Time, CST is Central Standard Time in America. Uh, right, so and CST is also China Standard Time apparently. So let me not use that. That's just going to cause a lot of confusion. So September 15. If I am going to start at say 10 a.m. again, that would be 10 p.m. EDT and 11 a.m. JST. Right? Right. And from there, people should be able to convert to their own time zones. Okay. They pick up. Nice. Oh, you can't see any of the windows. I'm writing a text right now in Krita and picking out a uh, a font for it. Sorry, you cannot see that. Um, I downloaded a bunch of fonts, but the trouble with fonts is always like you have, or at least I have, this very specific image in mind of what I want the font to look like, and then I find like 5 or 10 fonts that all look close enough, and then I download and install them, and I look through them again to pick one out, and it's like none of these fit what I had in mind. So this text is too big. Text is still too big. Why is this text so gigantic? Okay, this text is invisible because of the color. Also, it is still too big. No, or there. All right. Okay, I think you can kind of see what I'm doing now. Okay, let me put a box around this. Go with a very dark brown. Darker. Okay, and then what should be on the inside? Something dark as well because the text is white. A gray, a type of like steel-ish gray. Maybe. Okay. I just messed up. I lost the original color. No. As you can see, I am an absolute expert at using Krita. Okay. Box. Why is it not filling it? Oh, I can have patterns. Ooh. Oh, these are probably like texture masks. This is so cool. In any case, let me fill up the box first. Eh. All these clicks, okay. Ah! I need to change it into a... Change this into a... There we go. I just did an oopsie. All right. New layer. And then put the box on this new layer. Oh my goodness. As you can see, I definitely know how to use programs like this. There we go. Does it look great? No. But graphic design is my passion. Something, something. Oh, all right, Ren. Thanks for coming by. And yeah, see ya. Have a good day, I guess. Or have a good time zone in general. All right. This might work. This gray is too dark. I don't like it anymore. Afternoon? All right, yeah, then have a good rest of the day. Okay. Ah, not what I expected. There you go. Okay. Better. And Change the text to make the text pop a little bit more. There's so many effects that I can have here. Where are they? They're here. I can do something like an outer glow. At smaller size. Aha. What does no spread do? No spread is this. Ah. Right, this is what I've been looking for. And I can make this something like this color. Yes, come on. That is a crap color. Use for that. Ah, this is much better. Is better indeed. And then what does range do? Oof. No. Precise. Let me go with the precise one. No, that's also not what I want. I can change this as well. That it is very subtle. Very, very subtle. Okay, not quite what I'm looking for. Ooh. What is this? I'm just playing around with this right now. This is... Aha, there we go. This is much more what I wanted. That is awful. It's better. What if I change this down to 1 pixel? There we go. Not great, but it'll do. Let me see. I pick a color. I can pick a color. There we go. This much, much better. Okay. Now, save. Very important. Make sure this is the correct size. All right. So this is basically what I talked about. Can I merge with the layer below? Yeah, merge with layer below. There. Now I can move this. Like so. All right. All right. It doesn't look amazing, but eh. What else did I say I wanted to work on? Because I can put that into my checklist. Sound settings. There we go. And now it cuts into here. Great. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Good enough. Okay. All right. Let me make this a bit more opaque. So, all right. Okay, so now I have this officially for the stream setup stream for Friday. I keep wanting to say Sunday. I don't know what it is with my brain. Oh, right. This is done. Export this as a PNG. And that's that. All right, let me switch back to this one. Okay. Close Krita. Get back. All right. So, thank you for the hydrate. Yes, hydrate. Everyone else as well. Hydrate, please. Okay. Yeah, so far the stress test seems to be working. I have done network tests where, for those who don't know, on OBS you can set it to network testing mode, I think, or bandwidth testing mode, I think it's called, something like that. Right, if you go to your settings and then stream settings, there's a checkbox enable bandwidth test mode. I did that yesterday for quite a bit. So I tested my connection as if my stream were live without actually going live, and played a bunch of online games and started like several of them at once. Like I launched Genshin and Path of Exile both at the same time while running bandwidth test mode, and it absolutely murdered my bandwidth. Sorry about that. So it dropped to like 1,000 at best, several hundred usually. But what worries me is that it stayed down there even after closing both games. That's the biggest thing that worries me. If, like, once the bandwidth dies, that it just will not recover anymore because there's just so much data that it can't catch up, and then it drops like 2/3 of all frames, so my stream ends up becoming a slideshow. Very, very undesirable. So I'm hoping that won't happen. I mean, I'm not gonna launch 2 online games at once and play them both at once on stream. That is not a thing that's gonna happen. I'm able to play them without problem on this connection. Question is, can I play and stream them? And I'm not gonna stream super intensive online games, I think. V Rising is probably the biggest one for now, and really only collabs. If collabs happen, then I might play some other games, online games. Or not might play online, I will play online games if I am collabing with someone. That's the whole point. But yeah, for most of the time when I'm just playing my 20-year-old single player games, I believe the stream is gonna be fine. So I'm confident about that. I'll have to, yeah, so looking forward to that. Okay. So I think that was more or less it. I think I'm done. I'm quite happy with how this test turned out. I got a lot of ideas down on paper or canvas, digital canvas, and discussed a lot of things about my plans. The stream has been looking amazing, network wise, connection wise. On my output, I have dropped 0 frames from the network. I have dropped, what is this, 60 frames due to rendering lag and encoding lag and such, which is nothing over the course of 2.5 hours. So I am very happy with this. I'm very confident with this. This is not the speeds I wanted. I wanted 500 up and down, 500 megabits, because that is possible here, and those are some crazy speeds. I would have been happy with 100 up and down, but that's not possible on the copper wire. The copper wire right now we have 60 down, 20 up, which is enough to stream, but it's tight. I have to be very careful what exactly I do and just how much bandwidth everything eats up. And but yeah, I mentioned this all the way in the beginning of the stream where some people might not have been here, but basically we're stuck with the copper wire. The apartment is so old that by the time we got it, all the renovations and stuff in there that had already been done basically completely covered up where all the wires, the external wires, enter the home. And that includes the internet wire. We don't know where the internet wire enters our apartment. We only know that at some point, after it's gone through the walls somewhere, it comes out at some point. And that's where our modem is connected. That's all we know. Right? So we don't know how the internet cable runs from the distributor box to our apartment. And because we don't know that, we don't know where the wire is. It's lost in the walls. Because of that, we cannot install a fiber optic cable. Because it needs to take the original route of the cable. Hold on 1 second. And because of that, we're limited in the stream speeds. Or not stream speeds, network speeds. Unless we tear open all the walls, which is not what we want to do. Okay, enough talk. I've been going for 2.5 hours. Very, very short stream on my end, but good enough of a network test that I think I can say The network passes with flying colors. So let's check if there is anyone to raid. But I also haven't raided anyone in ages. I have to look at how this works. How does raiding work? Okay, I think I found someone. So let me check how long the stream has been going. 3.5 hours. Might go on for a bit longer, I guess. This person is known to stream relatively long, I guess. Yeah. Okay, we are going to raid Code. Code is a wonderfully chill streamer and a good bean all around and a wonderful person. So thanks for streaming. Yeah, thanks for being here, everyone. I did not expect to see all of you here. Really, I just thought I'm just gonna leave the stream running for 2-3 hours and then come back and see how many frames I dropped. So yeah, currently playing Resident Evil 4. Not as chill, but Code herself is chill. So I guess that makes it work. Alright. So let me see. /raid Code channel. Code channel. Yes. Boom. Okay. So yeah, thank you everyone for coming by. Like I said, I will do a tech test, not tech test, a tech setup stream Friday, roughly the same time, and then we will go from there. All right. Thanks everyone for coming. Bye-bye.